actually marry them. But listen, I told you in the video before, we are not layaway plans. Do not let someone put you on a layaway plan and hold you up.
Father, your love never ceases, even in the midst of my darkest days. Love, it flows like a river and never ever seems to run dry. So if all the breath in my lungs, I'll raise a hallelujah.
Welcome back to Key Lang's Beloved Let's Talk. I am Key Lang. If this is your first time being here, thank you so much for joining me. If you've already been here, I'm always so grateful to see you again. I am so excited because today I am outside. If you know this about me, you know one thing. I love to be outside. I love to allow the wind to run across my face when I'm outside. So I just want to respectfully apologize if the volume is a little bit different. On today's episode of Beloved Let's Talk, we're actually going to talk about some of those questions we need to ask that's similar to an application, because I feel that as we're getting older, as much work as we put into ourselves, it is extremely necessary for us to be intentional and make sure that we are choosing wisely, and most importantly, if we're dating, that we are being intentional about asking those direct questions that we need answers to early on. Don't be afraid. You're not being disrespectful. You're not being offensive. If you feel it's a heavy question, then I would just ask, hey, respectfully, and then ask your question. Do your best as much as you can to give them eye contact. You actually want to be able to feel if they're telling you the truth. You want to actually be able to look them in their face and see, are they telling you the truth or are they just trying to manipulate you? If you are a woman that's desiring to get married and you're dating with intentions on doing that, then it's okay to ask them directly. Do you desire to get married? Do you desire to have children? Are you married? That's an important one to ask. This would actually also be a good opportunity to ask them about their past relationship, because some people think that it doesn't matter about what happened or how things broke up with your past relationship, but it is important. So without being and sounding nosy, I would just ask them this question right here. With your past relationship, how did you all end? Do you still deal with any emotional traumas from that past relationship? This is so important to ask, because I'm telling you, if you don't find these things out early on, you will find out once you're in love with them and you've invested all this time that they are actually still dealing with some past traumas from a relationship or even past traumas from a childhood. We need to be more intentional and ask these things directly, because we are taking up too much time. It's them that has to take the initiative to correct and fix and heal those traumas. you are not being offensive, you are not being disrespectful, asking someone directly about these things that you need to know, because this is your one opportunity, this is your one life. Is there anyone in your life who believes that they're in a relationship with you? This question is kind of loaded because, for one, sometimes there are women that are in relationships with men who told them that I don't want to be in a monogamous relationship. However, they're sitting up here and they fantasize and they've created this thing in their mind to think that they're actually in a relationship with someone who is saying, I'm looking and I'm seeking for my partner. So you want to know, is there a woman out there that actually feels that she has a chance with you? Is there a woman out there that feels that she's waiting around for you to marry her? You know, because sometimes these women will sit and wait for these men to get to where they're saying that they want to be, you know, so that they can actually marry them. But listen, I told you in a video before, we are not layaway plans. Do not let someone put you on a layaway plan and hold you up. If he is not ready, then he should not have gotten into a relationship yet. He should consider just waiting instead of sitting on one of God's good women until he decides that he's ready. If you wait on a man like that, when it comes to leadership and when he's leading the family, there may be some problems, there may be some issues. So keep that in mind. When it comes to finding out if a person lives alone or if there are other people that they are taking care of and that's dependent on them, how is your family dynamic at home? The condition of the people is similar. I mean no harm. Respectfully, I want for my sister what I want for myself. Like, I've seen men who are older that say, you know what, my mom lived with me. When in all actuality, they live with their mother. We want to make sure that they're actually dependent on self and taking care of themselves independently.
We have to wait for somebody to say something.
Okay. Are you okay mentally? After you've asked them about their mental state, then ask them, how well do you cope with emotional difficulties? You know, because sometimes some people have a hard time dealing with just the normal everyday adversity. And I'm not expecting things to be perfect. We're not perfect. We're all a work in progress. However, what I am saying is things are different when it comes to men. Men were raised and taught to not really show emotion. And because men were raised like that and they couldn't cry, it's harder to get them to actually express their emotions, to show that they care, because this is how they were raised. I don't really feel that it's something that they're doing intentionally, that they want to hurt your feelings by not expressing how they feel about you. I just think that if we ask the right questions and see, going back to the family dynamic, if we see how their upbringing was with their parents, were they in a two-family household, or were they with a single mom, or were they with a single dad? How did their parents show love? How did they actually show them that they cared? Were they emotionally and physically available to them growing up? A lot of times we don't want to take the necessary help that we need to heal from traumas, and we actually end up bleeding all that on God's good people that don't even deserve it. One of the biggest questions that a lot of people don't ask going in is, would you like to have a monogamous relationship? For those that don't know what a monogamous relationship is, that is a relationship that is just you and your partner. It's not you, your partner, and others, you know. And I think that if we ask people this directly and up front at the beginning, we would eliminate a lot of wasted time. This is why I'm always saying stay the peach out of reach. And what staying the peach out of reach mean, if you saw it in my previous video? That means for you to be monogamous and abstinent. Abstinent from intimacy. Because once we start connecting ourselves intimate-wise, everything changes. changes. Everything changes, I'm telling you. But if we haven't given ourselves physically to the person, we could actually, if we decide to just be done without any strings attached, it's a whole lot easier. But if we've been intimate, sometimes those emotions and everything that's kind of like intertwined, it can cause a lot of issues and a lot of chaos. So keep that in mind. Who is someone you really admire? This is a question that you can ask that will allow you to also find out if, no disrespect man, if he's a mother's boy. It's okay to love your mother. I love my mother. But sometimes with mama's boys, they know that they're actually thinking, you know what, my mother is the only woman in my life. She's going to be first. Now, we know that when you get married, that's not how that goes. Yes, your mother is your first love. I get that. But when you have a wife, she becomes your first priority. She is your first responsibility. So this is a question that we need to ask. I mean, what does your typical work day look like? And what do you love the most about what you do? This is a question to ask without directly asking them what it is that they do professionally. And it would also give you an opportunity to figure out if this is somebody that you want to spend your life with. Financially, if they would be able to take care of you and a family on what they're doing right now. I have to be honest, there are a lot of people, unfortunately, that have special needs children. And sometimes we kind of hide these things, but we really need to go ahead and put it out in the forefront. So me personally, I would say ask them, how do you feel about special needs children? Do you have any special needs children in your family? Be intentional about this, especially if you are a person that has a special needs child, because you need to know before you're even entertaining anything with them if they're actually going to be able to handle the demand that is on you when it comes to a special needs child. Ask questions that we can't actually give answers to for ourselves, because they have a right to want to know these things about us just as much as we do. Here are a few other questions to consider asking. What do you like to do in your free time? Are you a person that enjoys hanging out, or do you just want to sit at home and watch TV all day? At this very moment, what is one of your greatest needs? Or what is your greatest need when it comes to a partner in a relationship? Have you ever cheated on someone? I always say to any and everybody, get you a notebook. Get you a notebook for the different things that you would like to know about someone so that it can match with you. Because anyone can tell you you're a beautiful woman. God already created you to be a beautiful woman. So this off top you already knew. Even in your imperfect, he said, you are my daughter and you are a beautiful gift to the world.
The one who is and will always remain. The wonders of Christ are still built to explain. Father, your love never ceases, even in the midst of my darkest days. Love, it flows like a river.